Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Knowledge of Life. Today in this video we will discuss about Philadelphia chromosome, which is a kind of chromosomal disorder taking place due to the reciprocal translocation of the human chromosome of number 9 and 22, and as a result of that there is formation of chronic myelogenic leukemia. And in this video we will discuss regarding the treatment and diagnosis of the chronic myelogenic leukemia and the molecular mechanism involved in the formation of the Philadelphia chromosome. So now let's start. In the year 1959, David Hagerforth from Fox Chase Cancer Center and Peter Nowell from University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine observed a special kind of chromosomal abnormality taking place in case of chronic myelogenic leukemia patients, and from that the discovery of Philadelphia chromosome took place. And the Philadelphia chromosome name came from the area of the discovery of the chromosome. And in the year 1973, Janet Ravel from University of Chicago identified the mechanism involved in the chromosomal translocation taking place. Now let's look at the term chronic myeloid leukemia. As we can see from the name, it is chronic, that is, it takes place in case of mature cells or in case of older patients, and it is a kind of monoclonal disorder of the late hematopoietic cells. Now, as from the name myeloid, we can say that it is a kind of disorder taking place in the myeloid lineage, that is basically the neutrophil, basophil and eosinophil of the WBCs, and it is a kind of malignancy of the monoclonal cells. So now let's look at the molecular mechanism of the formation of the Philadelphia chromosome. As we have stated earlier that it is a kind of balanced reciprocal translocation between the chromosome number 9 and chromosome number 22. Now there is presence of a CABL gene in the Q arm at position 34.1 in the chromosome number 9, and there is presence of a BCR gene in the Q arm at position number 11.2, and due to the balanced reciprocal translocation there is formation of a Philadelphia chromosome where there is a presence of a BCR ABL fusion gene. And we will have to keep it in mind that ABL gene is the protoncogene and BCR is a normal gene, where due to the fusion there is formation of a oncogene, that is a BCR ABL oncogene. Now if we look at the structure of the chimeric BCR ABL mRNA transcript, there is presence of various breakpoints in the BCR and ABL gene, as a result of which the chimeric transcripts are produced. Now if we look at the BCR gene, there is presence of a breakpoint in the E1 E2 region, and there is also presence of breakpoints in the B2 and B3 regions, and also in the E19 and E20 region. In case of ABL gene, there is presence of breakpoint in the 1B and 1A, and also in between the 1A and A2 region. And due to that, there is formation of P190 BCR ABL gene. There is also formation of P210 BCR ABL gene, and there is another formation, that is the P230 BCR ABL gene. That is, they are basically three types, and the 190, 230 and 210 are the molecular weights of the BCR ABL mRNA transcripts. Now the P210 BCR ABL gene is mainly responsible for the formation of the CML, that is the chronic myeloid leukemia, and the P210 BCR ABL gene has got a number of functional domains present in them in the BCR and ABL portion, which are responsible for the activation of the tyrosine kinase pathway. Now if we look at the BCR portion, there is presence of a coiled motif or the oligomerization domain, and there is presence of a tyrosine 177, and it is present for the GRB2 binding site. Now there is also presence of a phosphoserine threonine rich SH2 binding domain, and there is also presence of a RHO-GEF, that is DBL like domain, present in the BCR region. Now in case of ABL portion, there is presence of SH2 and SH3 region, and there is a presence of SH1, that is the tyrosine kinase domain, and there is also presence of nuclear localization signal, that is NLS, and there is presence of DNA and actin binding domains. Now the fusion of the BCR and ABL gene leads to transformation of the protoncogene ABL to a oncogene, and there is activation of the tyrosine kinase pathway. Along with that, there is also activation of different kind of pathways. Those are the RAS pathway and the JAK-STAT pathway and the PI3 kinase pathway, and focal adhesion complex result in increased proliferation, differentiation and decreased apoptosis, and adhesion to the bone marrow stroma of the CML. Now this activation of the different pathway is mediated through a series of adapter protein, which are the GRB2, CBL, SHC and CRKL. Now let's look at the phases of the CML, or the chronic myeloid leukemia. The CML has got three kind of phases. Number one is the chronic phase, the second one is the accelerated phase, and the third one is the blast crisis phase. Now if we look at the clinical feature, one with CML can often have fatigue, weight loss and sweating, and on the increasing in stages one can also have hepatomegaly, that is increase in size of the liver, and one can also have splenomegaly, that is increase in size of the spleen. And in case of the blast crisis phase, the clinical features are often same as that of acute myeloid leukemia. Now coming to the diagnosis, an individual with CML, dependent upon the stage, one can be given a blood test, that is a complete blood count test or CBC. One can also be given a bone marrow aspiration and biopsy test, and one can also be given a cytogenic testing, which includes the fluorescence in situ hybridization or FISH test, and also a polymerase chain reaction or PCR test, which examines the chromosome. Now coming to the end at the treatment. One with chronic myeloid leukemia can be given certain kind of tyrosine kinase inhibitor, TKI, and there are a number of tyrosine kinase inhibitor presents, that is imatinib, nilotinib and dasatinib. Among them, imatinib is a most common type of tyrosine kinase inhibitor given to the patients. Now the younger people can also be treated with stem cell transplantation. Now coming to the accelerated myeloid leukemia, one can be given a increased dose of tyrosine kinase inhibitor or interferon, and can also be treated with a allogenic stem cell transplant. And in case of the blast crisis phase, which behaves almost as that of a acute myeloid leukemia, the treatments are also the same, and they can also be treated with a higher dose of the tyrosine kinase inhibitor, and it is only dependent upon the type of treatments that has the patient been given. So hope this video will help you, and if you have any kind of query regarding the video, you can put a question in the comment box, and also subscribe the channel if you like the channel to get the notifications on the upcoming videos. Thank you.